Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you for taking some time out today to tune in. Whether you are watching us live on YouTube or listening to the podcast, you have tuned in to the Art of Living show. I am your host, Imani Muhammad, and I am truly excited about today's show. Y'all just give me a few minutes while we set up everything. But again, you have tuned in live to the Art of Living. So give me a few minutes. We have a great show today. We're going to talk about all things metaverse. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, if you guys do not know already, this is a show that was inspired by the book that I wrote called The Art of Living. And you can find this book at travelingpillar.com. So feel free to check that out. I am going to set up a few things and then I'm going to bring my guests in and we're going to get started. So again, share this out, encourage people to tap in. And again, if you're listening to this on the podcast, definitely drop us a comment when you hear all this good information. All right. So before we get started, I want to just, if you have to get pen and paper, feel free to do that. Because I think we also are going to drop some information that would be useful for you all to think about, consider, do your own research on. One of the things that I will say about this metaverse, this crypto world, this digital currency, digital money piece that we're living in right now, you're going to find a lot of people that can give you information, but more importantly, that information is not going to be good for you until you do your own research. Okay. So it's important that, you don't just run out and just buy the next coin just because your favorite celebrity told you to go do it. Right. You got to make sure you're doing your own research. Okay. Because research and making sure what you're doing is important. You still can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me, actually. I just been running my mouth for fun. Okay, we good. Okay, cool. All right. So it's important for you to do your own research. Again, there's a lot of things and a lot of ways to invest, but there's also a lot of ways that you can lose your money. And so it's really important that not only do you do your research, but also find projects and find coins that have actual, investment ability, but also have a structure, have a platform, have a project connected to a good mission. Like there's so much to investing in coins, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other stuff too. But again, grab some paper, grab a pen, and make sure you're taking notes because again, there's a lot of information that's out there. There's a lot of scams that are out, and there's a lot of opportunities for all of us to lose our money. But on the flip side, there's a lot of opportunity for us to really gain our financial freedom if we know what we're working with. So with that being said, y'all, let me bring in my guests. And again, if you got mixed up on the times, we apologize. When you're working with that 3-hour time difference, anything can happen. So, but we here. And the beauty about recording and going live is that you can share this out, 24/7. So let me bring my guest in, make sure he is available and tapped in. There he is.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I can't complain. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. We living in one of the biggest wealth shifts in history. So we living in history right now.
Absolutely. And it's funny you just said about being alive. Part of just before we jumped on, I was talking to my aunt who came here from California. I haven't seen her in several years. She just had a double lung transplant and is doing great. But she was just telling me about the health complications. And I was sitting here listening to her and I was like, I'm just so thankful that I'm able to have this conversation. What was going to be a 5-minute visit turned into an hour visit. But it's a blessing because, to your point, it's a beautiful time to be alive. And so my aunt is still here and I'm able to still get some jewels from her. So
right.
It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Absolutely. So before we get started, well, actually, as we start, go ahead and do a brief introduction of who you are. And then I'm gonna fire off some questions for you. Of course, anybody in the chat, if you have questions as you hear this conversation, just drop it in the chat as well. But brother, let us know who you are, what you're about, and anything else.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Deshaun Davis. I'm based out of Richmond, Virginia, and I'm a major crypto enthusiast and forex trader. I've been involved in crypto since about 2017. And once I just got a whiff of it, I knew like this is going to be the future. This is what my kids can grow up using. And then you think about it, when it comes to crypto, we already use it without the title because 90% of transactions don't happen cash. It's cashless transactions anyway. And they even have restaurants. Like I know Kava is a restaurant, but they don't even accept cash at all.
Right.
You know, so I'm a crypto enthusiast, man. I'm happy to be knowledgeable in the space. I'm glad I jumped into it when I did because look now. I mean, in 2017, people was laughing at me when I was talking about crypto. Like, no, I ain't gonna be nothing. Fast forward to now, they about to change the name of the Staples Center Arena to Crypto.com. Like Crypto.com and acquired that. So it's a beautiful time to be alive.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's, you know, the way that I love to do this, I love to start kind of with definitions, making sure that we're clear on what we're referring to, and then of course, you know, we build on our conversation. But So Facebook came out, they was like, we changing our name to Meta, right? And then you saw a lot of people talking about it. Some people understood what it meant. Some people were confused. Then you had people that were just like, I don't want to be a part of the Meta, all these things. So can you just give your definition of what Metaverse means to you?
In simple terms, I'm gonna say it's a place to where people can meet online and interact with each other online. And for those who say you don't want to be involved in the metaverse, you already is, because social media was just a beta run for the metaverse in which they create now. The metaverse is like that alone. Metaverse is very vague, but we talking augmented realities, things of that nature. But to keep it simple, they creating online spaces to where you can meet you can meet face to face. Right. Online though, like you're gonna have online avatars, things of that nature. And you got a child that play Fortnite, you know about the metaverse.
Right, exactly.
That's what you know about Roblox, you know about the metaverse. You don't know, I bet your child do.
Right. Right. So what do you think, what is the significance, or why do you think Mark Zuckerberg and his team changed the name? Like what's your thoughts around that?
With Facebook in particular, I feel like they changed their name, first of all, to brand their self in that space, because in the social media reign, Facebook is the household name, but they was losing to TikTok, Instagram. If you notice, Facebook playing catch up to everything else. Like they was late with the stories, with the reels, and then they don't really appeal to a younger audience no more. Like I know a lot of people my age and younger, they don't even be on Facebook. Most people be on Instagram, TikTok now. Snapchat was hot for a minute, Twitter, stuff like that. So Facebook was a dying platform in that social media space. But they changed their name to Meta because they are positions to be in the forefront of this whole metaverse thing. Right. And so by making that, one of those companies that if you competition, they're gonna drop the bag and buy you out. They got an unlimited bag. They're gonna buy you out. That's how they acquire Instagram. They start losing the Instagram, they cut that check. Like, you know what? We're gonna buy you out.
Yep. So then in terms of a business model, so that makes sense, right? They came out at the forefront to claim it. And I like what you're saying in terms of they were losing attention, right? They were losing
attention. Was a dying platform.
So when they make the switch, right, and they're saying, okay, now it's Meta, right? What's the in your opinion, what's the business opportunity that they have by switching their name?
Because now, whenever you talk about metaverse, when in any search engine, they're gonna come right up. So they didn't hack they didn't put themselves in the forefront to hack any and everything metaverse. They already threw themselves in all social media algorithms. And then just the name Metaverse, like you can't even say Metaverse without saying Meta. So subconsciously, you're going to automatically think of Facebook. Well, Meta now.
Right. That's it right there. I mean, that's power right there. Like you said, the subtlety of suggestion. Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
all about like the power of branding. Cause like I said, with Band-Aids, they're called bandages. Band-Aid is a company. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So they just
Right.
got in the forefront. They hopped on it quick. They hopped on it early before anybody else could. They hopped on it. And they dropped billions of dollars for it.
Right. So let's talk about, okay, so you got, let's say there's a person who hasn't really been into any of the digital, the crypto, you know, this is all foreign language to people. How do you, like, what are some steps that you suggest that people begin to do just to start understanding the metaverse and just this world that that we've already been in? They just put a big label on it. So what would you suggest for people to just get involved, get their feet wet? Like, what should they start doing?
As far as getting involved in it, I would say do some homework, do some research on. You can start at like Roblox. See what your child doing. Actually, really dive into the game. Don't just sit there and look at it like, oh, watch them play the game. Like, no, actually dissect it, because it's gonna give you an understanding of what exactly the metaverse is. See how they interact with their friends.
Right.
And then as far as the financial side of how to gain on it, well, we'll get into that later. But I definitely know some cryptos and stocks you should definitely look into.
Okay.
But then it's funny, I'm gonna touch back into when you said people saying they don't want to be involved in the metaverse. You're so submerged in the metaverse that the metaverse was built based off the data they've been collecting, that Facebook been collecting on you from day one. Your phone know more about you than you do. Your phone know more about you than anybody else, because your phone know exactly what you're looking at. It know every song you like to listen to. It know what you searching up. It know everything about you.
Right.
And then you opted into that when you gave that app permission. So like I said, this whole social media thing was a beta test.
Break that down. Break that down a little bit. Break that down. That might have went over somebody's head.
Because people always wonder, like, how did Facebook become this billion-dollar company? They made money off your data. So when you search for something on Google and then you see it pop up on your Facebook feed, that's not by coincidence. It's not like, oh, they're reading your mind. Like, no, when you press accept on that to install that app, the permission you gave that app, they collected your data and they share it with third-party companies. So they literally made $1 billion off selling everybody data to these third-party companies. And what they did with this information was they created scene, okay, what's popular, what's trending, all that type of stuff. They just collected data from everyone into a big master computer. I'm gonna just say that.
Wow. And I know, I mean, when you said, we all be like, oh, I wonder how this ad popped up, right? And we say the word algorithm, right? But we don't really know what that means. You know what I mean? You just broke it down. Like, that's what's happening behind the scenes, is the selling of the data, finding out what you're interested in. Every time you click, it's creating cookies, right? Ability for them to track. That's
and then these companies are able to make a more, like, if you're into Facebook ads and stuff like that, then you'll know it's all about targeting down to a specific niche and a specific market. So now these Fortune 500 companies know exactly who to market to. So we can watch the same video on YouTube, but my ads and your ads gonna be different based on the algorithm and what we like to watch.
Man, yeah. So in terms of and again, and actually I want you to bring up the scenario that we talked about last night in terms of just how, the pros and cons, but we talked about the impact, like the positive impact of the metaverse, but also getting carried away in it, right? And what the impact may have on that. And we do see this in our children, right? And how they show up in the schools. But if you want to, can you just share that just about, just the negative sides of it, that we talked about?
If anybody ever seen the movie called Gamer, I can definitely foresee something like that happening with augmented reality. Because you think about it, if you put these glasses on, you put these oscillate glasses on, and you become so immersed in that, and you spend your time doing this, you spend 10 hours a day playing in this submerged in this alternate augmented reality, it's going to become a point to where you're not going to be able to separate that from real reality. I'm using an example of say when they come out with a Grand Theft Auto style type game, and you got a child playing it, he playing it. You as a parent, you just think you just letting your child play or whatever. But the whole time you don't know, you don't open up his subconscious mind to a whole nother plateau. You don't open up their whole mind to something else they're not even ready for. So what they'll do is be trapped in the game. So when they no longer playing the game, they'll still see these augmented images. And you're gonna think they crazy, they need help. Like, nah, they being attacked on a whole nother level that you can't even fathom right now.
So when we talked about this last night, yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then I can see it getting so deep as far as imagine, okay, they're gonna have it so you a sports fan, you're gonna be able to buy front row seats augmented, and you're gonna be able to buy augmented front row reality seats. So now you think your husband yelling at the TV. Then imagine when he right there think he in the game for real, being broke everything in the house, man. Or even like you get into people who like porn and stuff like that. It's gonna get to a point where it's crazy. We're gonna see a time where couples are gonna have arguments about not wanting to be with your real spouse and real person and rather be in the metaverse.
Man, like I need y'all to hear that. That is so real. And this is the thing that I was sharing with the brother. Like one of the things that we've learned in psychology and how the brain works is that the mind doesn't know the difference between a physical experience and a mental experience. So that's why athletes, and there's a term, I call it visualization, but there's an actual scientific term, but it's visualization. And there's athletes that train to think about the race or the sport or the game or whatever they're getting ready to go into. They visualize it first from the beginning to the end, and then they go execute. And one example was I think it was the German team in the Olympics. I think it was in sledding. It was there. I read this example from Sister Ava in her book, but she talked about it was the German Olympics team, and it was the bobsled team, I think it was. And before they did the race, they visualized all their processes and their steps from the beginning to the end. And then when they actually got into the race, they actually won because they had already visualized themselves winning the race, right? And so we do this daily. We do this visualization stuff oftentimes, or we hear about it like, oh, think before you do, right? But what you just said is perfect example, because the human mind, what happens is if we visualize this experience, we're creating those same endorphins, those same chemical reactions, than if we're actually doing the experience, physically doing an experience. We can duplicate those same chemical reactions in our mind, whether we're physically doing it or thinking about it. Right. And it's deep. That's why those of us that are scriptural people, that's why Jesus said in the script, I think it was like it says something about sin by thought, right? So just thinking about sinning can just be as equally as actually executing the sin. I'm only using that example as how powerful the mind is. So when we talk about augmented reality, and we talk about having a whole experience that you having to sitting on your couch,
right?
You just see it with your eyes.
If you saw the Disney movie WALL-E. WALL-E, you ever seen that? The Disney movie?
Oh yeah, the character, the cartoon,
the little robot.
Yeah.
And all the humans in there is fat. Everyone is fat. They not doing nothing. Like technology took over to the point that human don't have to do nothing. And I can foresee that happening as well. It's like you don't have to leave out the house for nothing.
Right.
And I feel like this whole COVID thing was a beta run for that too.
Yep. Absolutely.
Technology is a gift and a curse, but I feel like you just pay attention to people. A lot of people are socially awkward now. If you meet the Facebook person, that's another thing. The metaverse, the Facebook version of you and the in-person version of you are a lot different for a lot of people. A lot of you, a whole nother person.
A whole nother man.
So you're not even really you. Right. You don't even know how to react. Like you could be in a group chat, you the most talkative person, but in person, you don't even know how to interact with people.
Right.
So yeah, social media has bridged a lot of gaps, Via. That's how we having this call now. But at the same time, luckily we are able to utilize and benefit from it with purpose. and with intention. But a lot of people is lost in the sauce in this whole social media thing. So the metaverse is only going to be 10 times worse.
And one of the things that I think about, you know, and you know, I think about our children, right? And I think about how they can sit in front of a TV and play a game, right, for 8 hours, right? But then they get to school and they say, you know, they can't sit down for 15 minutes. Now, some of that is on the educational system, and we know that. But the point being is that something in that technology captured their attention, right? And we also know that having that much time on technology does impact social skills. You know, it does impact just common conversations, right? So we're talking about a child, right? The child brain. And now you add that to the adult world, you know, all over again. It's just, you know, what will be, and this is just a question I'm throwing out there for anybody, or for, you know, to you for sure, but just like, what is the impact on our society, right? 10, 20 years from now, operating in this augmented reality at times, you know what I mean? And like you said, some people will overindulge in it. And yeah.
And that's the main thing, is like, you just have to be disciplined with it and be intentional. I feel like, cause I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna dive into the metaverse. Like, on the pros inside, it's like, I'm a nerd on the low. I'm a tech guy on the low myself. And it's like a dream come true. Like, damn, I'm gonna be able to do this, that, and the third. But it's in moderation. You gotta be intentional with it.
Right. So what's the relationship, and we're gonna kind of switch gears with this question, but what's the relationship between metaverse, you know, cryptocurrency, digital currency? What's the relationship with that?
What you mean with crypto and the metaverse?
Yeah, so So is there a relationship? I guess let's start there. Is there a relationship between the metaverse concept, right, and then cryptocurrency and digital currency?
Oh yeah, I feel like it's a direct connection, because we're moving into a digital world, and then we're gonna definitely be living in a cashless world. But I feel like that's kind of a gift and a curse too, because then it's like, okay, what if the power grid ever go out? Like, what if all your assets is digital, and then the power go out? I remember when a couple of weeks ago, Facebook went out for like a couple of hours, and it was like everyone's panicking, like, oh, what happened? What happened? Imagine did it for a week. So that's why you still want to make sure that you have some type of physical assets, like your gold, your silvers. As of right now, still have some type of cash.
Because that's real. Like, I mean, if all of our assets are in digital form, the internet cut off, what you gonna do?
Exactly. What you gonna do?
You know, so yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit of your business, kind of what you do around trading and some of that work. Again, for everyone, we are not financial advisors. We are only telling you our testimony and our story and what we do, but we are not giving you financial advice. So anything that you hear, take it for that purpose only. But go ahead and share a little bit about your business. And then, you know, you've told me about how you've been in crypto at least since 2017. So maybe share with people, like, what was it that got you into it? What attracted you? What did you see coming down the line? And then just, you know, what's your company all about?
So how I got started, I was involved in a couple of little online companies or whatnot that was trading and whatnot. And a lot of the people in those companies were more so focused on recruiting people and getting signups, opposed to actually helping people learn how to trade. So then I went to another company. And then with this company, I had built it up. I had got my residuals to like $2,500 a month. And then the CEO just ran off with the money. And it was like, I'm real big on integrity and intentions and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just do my own thing. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to do my own thing. And I'm just going to educate people to the best of my ability. So I started my own company, D2I Effects. And it was actually, we bought in that year phase. And fast forward a year later, I have about 30 to 40 students. And right now, my main focal point is just cryptocurrency investing. That's teaching people how to invest in crypto, how to trade, how to do the chart work, which is the work that people try to duck the most, but I feel like it's the most important, because them charts tell stories. You You know, and I just really, I looked at it like, cause you know, I believe that service to the people is the highest form of success. You can really empower somebody. If I can really teach you how to fish, then I feel like that's moving along in my purpose. So I figured, so I might as well just teach people how to trade and really empower people, because we need to be in these spaces. We need to be in cryptocurrency. Us as Black people, we need to be in these spaces. And it's just the perfect time, because the thing that I love about crypto, the little man can win. Cause I know back in the day, like the stock, like say even with stocks, how they allow you to get fractional shares now. So for example, Amazon stock might be $3,000, but you might not have $3,000, but you might have $100. So you can invest your $100 and just build your portfolio. So I just seen it as a perfect opportunity to really empower my people while doing something I care about doing. I'm actually passionate about this crypto space and just trading. Like, it's coming to be one of my passions. Like,
who introduced you to crypto, or how did you learn?
Honestly, I can't say one person in particular, because I'm the type of person, like, with my social media, the way my social media is set up, I'm in them groups. I'm interacting with the right people.
Yep.
Like, I don't care who you with, where you're from. I'm following the paper trail.
Right.
And then I have a superpower, always being ahead of the wave. Like, I don't know what it is. It's crazy. I have a superpower. It's like I'm always moving in alignment.
Yeah, I think for me, I had heard about crypto. I can't say 2017. I think it was a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And the first time I really like paid attention, it was through 19 Keys. And actually, no, I take that back. It was actually a brother here who had signed. It was a company that I think a lot of us lost some money in. I forget the name of it, but it was a local brother here, and he had caught the wave of Bitcoin. So we was all investing in Bitcoin, and we was trading.
It wasn't BitConnect, was it?
I think it was.
BitConnect, man. Let me tell you, man, I lost so much money messing with BitConnect.
I think it was, man.
Yes, BitConnect.
And it just disappeared. Like the platform just disappeared, right?
And it had this, so you put your money in, then it just grow on its own interest and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I only lost a couple hundred, but my friend, he lost a chunk.
Yeah, I lost a couple racks too.
Yeah, so at that point, I was like, okay, I don't know nothing about this Bitcoin, and I didn't even understand it. I just followed based on, he was telling me get into it. Boom, had no clue what Bitcoin was. Didn't even understand tokenomics, crypto. Didn't even know. So I stayed away from it for a while after that, because I'm like, I don't know what people are talking about. And then I came around, heard 19 Keys talk about it, and so I said, let me do some research. And I will also say to people, another brother who really helped me understand it in like layman terms, like real basic terms, was Jared T. Ross. And he's on Instagram, and he just, for whatever reason, the way that he can kind of deliver the information makes it real simple for me. He also does NFT consultations too. So if y'all interested in NFTs as well. But what I will say, it doesn't matter about who like introduces you. I think the number one key is to have the community. And you just alluded to it, being a part of the community, discords, or whatever it is, so that your conversations now are on that topic. You know what I mean? My conversations have changed now, from 2 years ago or a year ago. Right now we talk about ownership and property and finances. I wasn't talking that 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, is making sure that you have a community of folks that you can actually bounce ideas off of. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you and I are connected. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess I'm gonna ask you that question. Like, how big is it, or how important do you kind of put that energy around? I mean, you've obviously built your business and have 40 students, but what is it about that coming together piece that really helps understanding the world of crypto, or just understanding any of this stuff?
I mean, it's just a strength in numbers, and then 20 brains is better than one.
Right.
Everyone had their strengths and weaknesses. So some people may be good at technical analysis. Some people may be good at researching. Some people might be in a group that you're not in. They might be in a room that you're not in, but they getting the gems though. So it's just about a group of people collectively working towards one goal, and just to help each other win. And one thing I love about this crypto space and this trading space, it it kills that sense of competition between us, because it's us versus them. It's us versus the market. You know, and then like in my earlier days of online marketing, that was the thing. You got people trying to cross recruit and all this and that. It was real messy and dramaful. But nowadays, more is like, all right, what's up? We can link up. You know, ain't really no competition. Me winning does not take nothing off your plate. You winning does not take nothing off my plate. But we trying to take everything off their plate and bring it back home. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
That's me. That's me.
Okay.
What would you say? So one of my realizations that I had, you know, over the last year is that all of these coins, Bitcoin, all of these coins are not physical.
Right.
Right. Like they're not this that we holding, right?
Right.
So, but we also learn with fiat money that we agree that these are two $5 bills, right? So they yield the value of $5, right? The crypto coins are not physical coins, right? And they have a price point to them, but there's still an agreement that Bitcoin is 60,000. You know what I mean? Like there's still an agreement. And so one of the things that was kind of, it hit me was how it shows the collective unity, right? So if we all go and buy this same coin and we create this energy around this coin,
right,
and the power of, I would say manipulation, but I don't want to use that word, but just like, you know, like we all agree, so we all gonna buy it like that.
Let's say market enhancement. We enhance the market in our favor.
Yeah, exactly. So can you talk a little bit just about that? Like we saw it with GameStop.
The prime example of that in the crypto space is Dogecoin.
Okay, yep. Let's talk about it.
You do your due diligence on Dogecoin. It literally started out as a joke.
Right.
But then they built a community around it. Then next thing you know, it ain't a joke no more. I remember Dogecoin, when I first heard of it, it was like under a penny. And I ain't never think nothing of it. Because I always like the cryptos, I like to invest in. It gotta have some type of utility. It has to solve a problem. I don't just invest in just anything, but like you said earlier, because someone tell me to. Nah, even when Dogecoin was making this run, I ain't really invest in it. But it just shows the power of a community though, because they literally have no purpose. Dogecoin has no purpose at all.
Right.
But hey, they go to show you the power of the people. It's strength in numbers.
Exactly. So
and that's what the powers that be do not like.
Right. Can you help people understand the difference between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I guess we'll use Doge. So like, what's the difference between those three? Like blockchain versus,
I mean, blockchain is a technology that runs that Bitcoin is built on.
Okay.
And it's basically a system of computers that create a network that is damn near impossible to hack, change, or alter. So Bitcoin, for example, we're gonna say that's digital gold. That's like the grandfather. That's the forefront. And the thing that what separates Bitcoin from fiat currency is the scarcity of it. It's only going to be, don't quote me on, I want to say like 41 billion Bitcoins ever made. So like the government does, they print helicopter money. They just keep printing money. Bitcoin don't work like that. So after, I think they said like 2025, I believe.
When is 45?
2045, the last Bitcoin be mined. There would never be no more Bitcoin mined. Wow. So let's think about it. The price of Bitcoin is 60-some thousand right now. At 2045, when there's no more being made, if you hold any Bitcoin, you're holding gold.
Right.
And then with Ethereum, that's a token. I like them because of their smart contracts, which ties back into the blockchain. So that's good for artists and business owners. You're doing something where you got to do contracts and things of that nature. Nobody can alter it. Nobody can change it. Once it's set in that blockchain, once it's set in that Ethereum network, it's locked in. And then, like I said, Dogecoin is just a little meme coin. But one of the meme coins I do love, this is a free gem for y'all, Shiba Inu. I'm loving Shiba Inu because it started off as a quote unquote meme coin, the Doge killer, but in all actuality, they have a whole ecosystem. They have the Shiba swap, which you don't know, it's like an exchange to where you can swap Shiba Inu for other tokens.
Yep.
You can stake your cryptocurrency. If you don't know, staking is like you put your crypto in there and they hold it for you and they give you a return on your investment. But I'm talking at least like 12%, 8%. You know, your bank is going to give you less than 1%. So we talking, you just simply just put your money over there, let it sit there, and they'll grow it 12% for you.
Yep.
I
was just gonna say that, like, yeah, the what you can yield by staking is more than what your bank is gonna give you. I mean, that's
way more. Like
way more.
Your bank would never, ever, ever. You know what I'm saying? And that's the strength of cryptocurrency because it gives you the power to be your own bank. But but it's flaws in that because if you miss somebody's wallet address by one letter, you late. Ain't no customer service to call. You late. So you got to make sure you know what you're doing. I made that mistake. I don't even want to talk about it. I definitely made that mistake.
Right. There is no customer service. You can't call nobody. Yeah, absolutely. So let's so you mentioned earlier about Staples Center. To crypto.com, and I hope everyone paid attention to that. And I think that was a $800 million branding, $800 million branding situation. I'll just call it that. And so, you know, what's your thoughts on that? Like, just that's
we're transitioning into the mass adoption phase.
Okay.
Because it's to the point where even Burger King is offering, if you order your Whopper through the Burger King app, they paying you in Ethereum, Bitcoin, might be XRP or LTC. I'm not quite sure, but I know they're paying you in crypto though.
Wow.
I know AMC is not accepting payments in crypto. So like it's just mass adoption, and we're still in the early phases of this.
Right.
So what time to get in now? What time to educate yourself now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of times, like we saw, I mean, maybe the malls that you were at, or I know here 7-Eleven and Plaid Pantry, they started putting Bitcoin ATM machines in.
Yeah, they got them everywhere. But I have to just do not buy your Bitcoin out the ATM machine. Do not do that.
No, no. But it's a sign, right? Like these are things that we got to start paying attention to, because if a company is willing to invest in that, right, and putting ATM machines in a corner store,
right?
You know what I mean, like that should be telling us something, right? That should be giving us some clues on where we need to put our attention, you know?
Right.
So what are some of the you mentioned how you look at coins, you look at the utility, you look at its purpose. What else you want to give the people? You want to give some more gems on what you look at in terms of your portfolio?
I'm gonna give y'all some homework to do. You gotta do your own due diligence on these coins. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go spend your rent money on these coins, but do your own homework. I'm gonna give you, and these coins I'm about to list are directly affected to the metaverse. So we got Mana, Decentraland, we got Sand, we got AXS, we got Engine, we got Funfair, and we got SOL, Solera. And I'm gonna dive into more about Solera when I bring up NFTs.
Okay.
And then we have certain stocks that you should invest in. Riot blockchain, that moves directly with Bitcoin. Yep. And then they have a new ETF I just found out about like 2 days ago. It's called the Round Hill Ball Metaverse ETF.
Okay.
And it's fairly cheap. It's only $16 right now. From the time when I wrote these notes down, it was $16. And they got Nvidia, Microsoft, Roblox, Facebook. If you don't know what an ETF is, long story short, instead of investing in one stock, it lets you invest in a compilation of stocks in the same niche.
Yep.
So you being less aggressive, more conservative route of investing.
So out of those cryptos that you gave, so you talked about I have Mana, Decentraland. What is it about that one that Well, I guess explain when you say they're connected to the metaverse directly. Explain what that means.
Because like say most of those are like gaming,
Yep.
like online gaming platforms. But now, say with Mana, they have it so you can play these games and get paid in crypto. It's just so many layers and levels to this metaverse. Like you really have to dive in and do your due diligence to really like dive into it when you have enough time.
Right.
It had to be a 2-3 hour video. But you definitely, that's why it's like you just have to, I don't care if you just read some every day. You have to just educate yourself and get on these platforms and just play around with it. I'm not saying go put no money up, but download these apps. Get you a crypto.com account. Get you a Coinbase account. Learn the terminology. Familiarize yourself with it because you're going to wish that you did. Do not pull a Blockbuster. We telling you, Netflix is coming. Netflix is here. I'm telling you, Netflix is right here. Do not be Blockbuster.
Right. Just holding on to the past. Just holding on to it. Right. And the crazy part about this, you know, is that our children are already primed for this language. You know what I mean? They're already primed. They've already, again, we talked about how they've already been interacting with the metaverse. So the moment we just get a little bit of a piece of knowledge, right? We get some terminology down and we start understanding it ourselves and we open that door to our children, they'll be able to take it to the next level. You know what I mean? Because they're already primed mentally for this world. You know what I mean? Like they already been ready for it. We're the bridge to it.
Excuse me. And I highly suggest that you get your child into coding.
Yes.
And because a lot of trades is not going to be around like we think it is. Like, get your child in technology, into coding, learn these computers. That's where all the money is at.
Right.
And I also suggest encourage your child creative side more because we move into a society where the creators are going to win.
Yeah.
And that brings me up to the NFT space. And for those of you who don't know what an NFT is, a non-fungible token. So, for example, every Bitcoin is the same. What an NFT is unique. Every NFT is unique. It's a one-on-one. So you basically capitalize off the scarcity of it. A lot of people caught wind of NFT when Tory Lanez released his album as an NFT. He made $1 million in 1 minute. But what he did was he sold his NFTs for $1. So 1 million people bought. They was waiting, because he had a pre-sale. He let them know that he was going to drop it. But then he dropped it for $1. And what they're going to do is take that NFT and then resell it for whatever. And then this is a gem too, I want to say, because a lot of people write this down. A lot of people are having issues on the Ethereum network because of these gas fees. So what I'm about to do myself is create my own NFTs on the SOL network. You don't have to have Solana. You don't have to worry about none of those gas fees at all. You do your homework, do your due diligence on that. But I'm telling you, you're going to thank me later. Because I know so many people that have made all this money, all these Ethereum-based coins, but then they don't even want to withdraw because the gas fees that ate up all their profits.
Yep. Yep. Is there a Solana platform that you can share with us?
I don't know it off top. I would have to send you. I would be able to share you a link. Okay. Because it's not just a typical some.com.
Right. So and this is for the listeners. Right now, NFTs, the two platforms that people are working with is Rarible and then OpenSea. But what he's referring to is that, again, a lot of those are connected to Ethereum. And again, those gas fees, basically processing fees, for lack of better words, that it'll eat your whole profit. I had a couple $100 of, I think it was, what did I have? I think it was crypto.com or CRO, their coin. And I went to it was Sheeb. There was. I had Sheeb and I had like $300. So I went to withdraw it and it ended up being 50 by the end of the process. And I was like, what happened to it was gas fees. And now, mind you, because gas fees, y'all, it's the time of day.
Yeah.
It's also what's happening in the market. And so at that time, everybody was withdrawing. I mean, Sheeb was going up and down. And so people were withdrawing, people were depositing, and all of that affects the gas fees, you know, and the rates. So to hear about other platforms and other ways that NFTs can be processed is going to be great, because that's really the biggest thing. Like you said, people are making profits, but they ain't withdrawing nothing, because they know when they withdraw it, it's going to eat up.
And then another one I just thought of too. It's another gem I'm gonna drop on y'all. Cardano ADA. Twitter is partnering with them.
Yep.
Is planning on partnering with them to become the first decentralized social media platform. And then they're also working on creating their own NFT space as well. That won't have all them fees like Ethereum.
Yep.
So man, I'm excited, man. I'm loving the opportunity that's in front of us. You just gotta hop on it.
Right.
But we living through a real wealth shift.
Absolutely. And I think too, like you said, just get the platforms, you know, and play around. You don't have to deposit $1,000 in, you know, or your rent payment or your more. You don't have to do all that. Just get these platforms, you know, put $50 in there, start learning how to purchase the coins, trade the coins, just so you can get familiar, so that when there is that opportunity to buy, you know, into something, you already know and you're familiar with the process. You know what I mean?
Right. You already got your account set up. You already verified. You ain't got to worry about none of that. So when it's time to pull that trigger, you can pull it.
Because that's what happened with Safe Moon, right?
Yeah.
When Safe Moon was getting all of his attention, it was so difficult to get, right? But by the time we heard wind of it, it was already,
and the move already happened. Yup.
It's already, yeah.
Oh, it's another thing I suggest too. Get you a Reddit account and dive in these forums. Like, take some time out your day, get off Facebook, get off Instagram, go dive in some of these forums, because it's where the real tech people, this where they really at. And so you wonder how, like, say that's how the GameStop run happened. They had the Wall Street Spec group on Reddit.
Yep.
And man, they was in it in the pre-sale. Like you said before, by the time you hear about it, the move that already happened. By the time it hit the news, the move that already happened.
Exactly.
So by the time when they hit the news, the people who was in the beginning, they withdrawn now.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. I think, you know, we have this whole, you know, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And that's real. I mean, it happens to all of us. But the way we get ahead of that is what we're, you know, saying to everyone, is that you got to do your own research. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know, you got to be a part of the circles and the conversations, you know. So that's a good reminder for me to get into Reddit. I don't have an account, so I just see it sometimes through my other platforms. But that's another, that's a gem right there.
Get into Reddit, jump into those crypto groups, and just run it. I mean, just read. You'll be surprised what you learn.
Exactly. So in terms of the next, not that you're a prophet, but I'm gonna ask you to give some prophecy. What do you see happening in 2022, whether it's around crypto, the metaverse, portfolio, stocks, just any ideas?
I'm still bullish on the crypto market. Of course, it's not going nowhere. We here. It's only gonna go up. We may see a couple of dips and market manipulation, but for the most part, I'm bullish. And I suggest average dollar buying. You know, so just give yourself a budget. I don't care if it's $5 a week. $5 a week, just buy you some crypto.
Yep. Yeah, for me, I use Robinhood. You know, let me say this too for people. Because I got caught up in this. Every platform is going to have its benefit, right? It is true that if you buy crypto on Robinhood, you do not own it per se, because you can't trade it in Robinhood. You can't put it in a wallet. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't we shouldn't work with it. Like if you
diversify. Amateur, you don't want to put all your coins in one place too.
Yeah, if you just getting used to it, Robinhood can be just fine for you to get your Bitcoins or get your Ethereum or Litecoin. Like, it's okay. Don't run away from Robinhood because you heard from somebody that said, well, it doesn't have a wallet. It's true. It's not a wallet, but it doesn't mean that you can't figure it out. So there's platforms that have usages that benefit, you know, every type of person. So don't stay away from a platform because it's too hard or, you know, somebody told you something. So I'm just encouraging us all to, like you said, don't leave all your coins in one place, just like your bank. You wouldn't leave
Right.
all your money in one bank, or you shouldn't. But that's the same way as crypto is, you know. So I have crypto.com, I got Coinbase, I have Robinhood, I have a Trust wallet, I have a Coinbase wallet, you know, I've got Bitmart, and I done heard a lot of stuff about Bitmart, but I have, you know, so I'm using all of those things, those platforms, to again be able to purchase what I want. And every platform has different abilities to purchase coins.
Yeah,
so some
pros and
coins on
cons to each one
Coinbase,
of them.
exactly, what's on Coinbase is not going to transfer over to Robinhood. So again, just find something that works for you, and start getting in. And like, I have a recurring, I put $15, and again, y'all, we're not talking about thousands of dollars. We talking about that $5 at 10. Every 2 weeks, I put $15 in Bitcoin. It's reoccurring. It goes into my account. I don't even look at it. So every 2 weeks, 15 at minimum, $15 goes in. You know, so again, that's just, you know, these are little tips to the trade, to where you don't have to feel overwhelmed to try to just get in the game. You know what I mean?
Right. And I highly suggest, man, you get you a mentor.
Yes.
You know, because since man, everyone think they're just a crypto expert, but it's a lot of levels and layers to this. You don't want to just be blindly buying coins, because did you hear about this squid coin?
Yes.
Remember the
Yes.
Squid Games? So they made a coin, for those who don't know, when the Squid Games was so popular, because anybody can make a crypto coin. You can just go make a coin.
Yes.
You can go make a coin. So they made a Squid Games coin. And that thing shot up from less than a penny to like $4,000 in like an hour.
Right.
And it went right to zero.
Yep.
And they was hyping up. So many people bought in, and they couldn't even withdraw it. So the owners really literally ran off with the bag.
Right.
And that happened so many times. Now you just go look back at the top coins from 3 years ago to now, and a lot of them don't even exist no more, because it was still a wild, wild west. It's a little better now, but it's still the scammers out here.
Exactly.
Don't just be green and gullible out here.
No. And I think that, but what you're speaking to, I think, is why people hesitate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they don't know where to go. They don't know a mentor to have, or, you know what I mean? And like, so they'd rather just not engage and miss out. Right. And I guess what we're encouraging, what we're sharing with y'all, like, this is not an opportunity right now to just not engage. Like, you're going to have to figure it out. And like you said, you know, that C19 showed us a glimpse. It was just a little test run of what I think is getting ready to happen, you know, times 10. So if we don't figure this out now, we're going to miss out on some key opportunities.
Right.
You know? And I think too, like, well, again, if anybody has any questions, I see the comments. People are loving the conversation, so I appreciate that. But if y'all have any direct questions, or just want to ask us, please drop it in the comments. One of the things I wanted to ask you too, around about withdrawing crypto, right? So there's some financial suggestions that will say not to withdraw, or not to put it back into fiat money, right? Like that defeats the purpose. And I have an argument to that, but I want to pose it to you first. Just what are your thoughts around?
Everybody's situation different. You know, everybody's situation different. Some people are in a position to where they can make a $10,000 profit and still leaving in crypto. Some people are gonna make $10,000 and shit. I'm gonna pay my bills. I'm gonna pay this car off.
Right.
You know, so in that note, I suggest that you get with your tax people, your tax advisor, and make sure they are educated in crypto too. Because I'm not a financial advisor, but I suggest, like, just figure out and do what's best for your situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly. It's like, for me, I think you just have to determine what are you investing? Why are you in the game, right? So
exactly. What's your end goal?
Yeah, what's your end goal? Are you doing it to pay a bill, right?
Right. Are you looking for long-term or short-term gain? Or you might do both. You might scalp some of your profits. Like, there's so many tactics and strategies and ways you can go about it. You just really have to sit there and ask yourself, Yeah, what's my goal? What's the end goal? What's the end game?
Right.
Because you don't never want to invest in nothing without having an exit route.
Exactly. And then I think too, I'm gonna throw this out here too for you. What's the difference between, and this is not just crypto, this is like trading in general. What's the difference between kind of having a gambler's mentality and actually knowing what you're doing, right? So like I think a lot of us go into it gambling,
discipline,
right?
having a written down trading plan, being patient, and detaching your emotions from the market, because the market do not give a fuck about, excuse my language, but the market do not care about your emotions.
At all. At all.
Do not care about your emotions. You gotta detach your emotions immediately. Don't fall in love with a coin. Like, no, I don't want to sell it. Look, it's like it's time to sell, take your profits. You can never lose taking profits. Remember that too.
Right.
And it's always gonna be a time to buy back in.
Right.
Just because people might see something that jumped up 100%, 50% in a day, like, damn, you feel like you're missing out. The market always retraces. The market always pull back. There's always gonna be a better buying opportunity. Right. And never buy at the top. Don't buy at the top. You see them made it run, wait for it to pull back.
Right. So that's perfect example, like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin jumped all the way up to 60,000. I think it even went up to like 65.
Yeah, like 65, yep.
Yeah. And then people were trying to get in and it was like,
and it dropped right back down to 52.
And then it dropped right underneath. Yeah, exactly. So
that's one thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but that's one thing people got to understand: the difference between the stock market and the crypto market. The crypto market and the stock market, you cannot approach them with the same mentality.
No.
Crypto is so volatile. Like, it's the stock market on steroids, and that could be a gift and a curse, because the faster you make your profits is the faster you can lose them too.
Yep. And I've noticed, let me, maybe this is just me, but I noticed that when crypto's up, stocks are down. And then vice versa. So again, the brother just mentioned earlier about reading charts, right? And there's levels to that, but just that awareness right there, right? Looking at when the stock market is up, when the NASDAQ is up, when the US 500 is up versus crypto, you know what I mean? And there's a
direct correlation. And just from the charts, you'll see that now people are waking up and starting to realize that they can use crypto to hedge this inflation that we're going through right now. So crypto has become a safe haven. It used to just be gold. So people used to just always put their money in gold, silver, and commodities and stuff like that, or certain stocks. But now people are saying, like, hold on, I can put my money in these coins and and stake the coin. So we're just living in a beautiful time, man. We living like the whole world is transitioning. Exactly. So I always ask people, well, what are you going to do to counter to hedge this inflation?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, one of the things, and I shared this before, because we'll be in December. So less than a year ago, I decided to study, under BWO. And there's, anyway, I'll just leave that alone. And I studied, under Chris Cole. And I say I leave it alone because BWO has changed a little bit. But less than a year ago, I literally shifted my mentality. And I'm saying this to people, not for bragging purposes, but I just bought my first house, right? And nothing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My income did not change. I didn't get a raise at my job. I didn't get none of that shifted. The only thing that shifted was my focus and my attention and my mentality. And I think, and I'm saying that to say to people that what we have literally just shared, like an hour telling y'all, are all these mindset jewels to give to y'all, for y'all to begin to start creating different patterns so that you can be in tune with what's happening right now. You know what I mean? This is a reality, and it's going to be here whether we are in it, participating or not, right? And so again, I think we have to challenge our own fears. We have to challenge our own hesitation, and just the unknown, so that we can be a part of this. You know what I mean? Because we missed out.
I feel like a lot of people don't want to feel dumb because they don't know, so they're scared to ask questions. So they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know. Oh, man, I ain't worried about that." But in all actuality, you are curious. If you're not curious about cryptocurrency right now, I don't know what world you're living in.
Right.
And it's to the point now where you see people like Tom Brady getting paid in crypto. We have it's a rapper called Money Man. He just was the first artist to sign $1 million deal in Bitcoin.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy, man. Times is changing.
Yep.
A lot of sports celebrities are choosing to get paid in Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's not just, that's not just
It's funny too, because right before I saw, I seen, I forgot the exact name of the company, but it's a IRA company and a retirement company that deals with crypto, and it's an exchange within itself. I'm gonna definitely find out the information and send it to you.
Okay.
But I seen it on a YouTube ad, ironically.
Yep.
But yeah, they were like, yeah, you can put your retirement into crypto now instead of the typical 401k.
Oh,
And you can exchange your currency in that tax free.
It's called the company I just learned about is called iTrust.
That's it. They got like a white and green emblem.
Yep. That's them. So I have a friend. Perfect. Thank you for bringing that up. My friend right now, he showed that to me. He's been part of iTrust for several years, and his retirement is in crypto. Come on, yes, yeah. So that's next level, but it's called iTrust. Yep.
And even within that change, that should shift them entirely. Because say you are a person that's okay, you've been held up in the whole 9 to 5 thing, and you too far in, you right there from retiring. So now you have the opportunity to still get knowledge and invest in crypto. And all those years going down, just not going down the drain. Right. Especially with all these new laws coming that Mr. President trying to implement as far as all the extra taxes. We need to find ways to dodge the tax man.
Yeah. Let's talk about that real quick before we go. So that was wrapped up in the infrastructure plan for them to tax the crypto and monitor the crypto. But I think Congress rejected it. It didn't go all the way through.
Oh, it didn't. Oh, okay. I heard they got passed.
Yeah, well, the infrastructure plan passed, but they're still negotiating that piece of it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah. But yeah, that's huge.
I have seen some. They even trying to tax like inheritances. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a whole nother. I mean, that's just government trying to find ways, right? Because they can't. Yeah. They can't,
Because that's the power of crypto is decentralization. Exactly. Right now, they shaking in their boots like they don't know what to do for real, because the power is really in the people. We moving into that time, so they're gonna do everything in their power.
Exactly. So before we go and wrap up, what else you want to share with the people?
Man, yeah, just do your research. Stay plugged in, get plugged in if you're not to a relatable source. Definitely get educated. My Instagram handle is right there at D2R Golden Child. I'm always open. My inbox is always open. I ask questions. I give a lot of free information. I just did a free, if you look on YouTube and go to D2RFX, my channel, I just did a whole breakdown overview on crypto and Bitcoin, where to buy, wallets, all that type of stuff. And I probably will do another one tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that like every Monday. So be sure to reach out to me. Like I said, I'm more than happy to answer any question anybody has. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm really here to help people and empower people. If we don't got us, who got us?
Period. That's it. And that's why, I mean, this brother, and I can vouch for him. We've never met other than in the virtual world.
Yeah, in the metaverse, right?
Virtual. But the reality is, we helping each other, and so that's one of the things I will continue to stress, is that you got to have people around you that can vibe on your level, vibe on your frequency, and have these conversations. Like, if we're not talking about this type of stuff, I don't have conversations right now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
this ain't the time to small talk. Either we building or bullshitting. Which we doing?
Is we building or bullshitting? That's a t-shirt right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. So drop in. You mentioned your Instagram. What's the YouTube channel, or what name should they search?
D2. If I put it in the chat, oh, don't put it in
Yep.
the comments. I see.
Yeah, put it in the comments so it stays.
Oh, I can't type in the comments.
Oh, snap.
Or you type it for me. I can
Yep.
just view the comments, but I can't type. But it's
Okay, go ahead.
D2RFX on YouTube. And then my Instagram is at D2R Golden Child.
Yep. Gotcha. And you know, there's so much information out there, y'all. Like so much, and you can get lost in information, but it's important to find the right people and connect with the right people. So again, if you stay connected with me in this show, and also just text the word freedom to 503-433-6332. All of these links, all this information will be passed on to you as well. Because again, I'm not an expert by any means. I'm still learning with us, for us. But what I do know is I'm smart enough to know how to bring people on the show. And I'm smart enough to know that I got to put some dollars in the game. So I appreciate everybody tapping in. This will also be a podcast. And so if you're just listening to it, make sure you share it out on YouTube. And if you found value in this conversation, you know, drop the number 1 if you can in there. Just let us know that you appreciate the conversation. But yeah, this is good. This has been good.
Yeah, man. Everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to this channel.
Yes.
I want to thank you for having me on, and you bring the value every week. Every week, man. I love what you're doing. I love you have people from all walks of life, all different niches, and you bring a lot of valuable content. If they don't know, they will know your name real soon.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And our next show is actually going to be next Saturday. I'm bringing on my brother who he created his business is called the Healing Code. So he's been healing folks here in the city of Portland that have been infected with the virus and everything else. He's cured cancer, all types of stuff for people. And
like holistic healing.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
He's a
I'm definitely.
Oh yeah. So it's good. We're gonna have a good conversation with him. And we actually gonna talk a little bit about you know, for him, it's like we got to heal the mind before we heal the body. So that's going to be our next conversation.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely tune in.
Yeah. Make sure all y'all tune in, subscribe to the page. If you don't do nothing else today, make sure you tell yourself you are great, you are appreciated. And my brother, we will talk very soon. Thank y'all for tapping in.
Yes, ma'am. Much love and prosperity. Y'all be blessed.
Yes. Peace. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Send me a text. Follow me on Instagram. And just stay connected. And if you want more of these type of shows, of these topics, just let me know. And if you have somebody, or maybe you are that person that wants to come onto the show, you don't have to have any type of stature, no resume, whatever. Like, I'm all about having conversations. The Art of Living is about how do we all find our strategic path in life to live our best life. All right. So that's what the Art of Living is about. Thank you all for tapping in. Next show will be next Saturday. So same time, same place. Not really, but tune in. The Art of Living on YouTube. Peace and blessings, y'all.